Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Siakula, and in this video I will show you step by step how to draw this realistic candle in Procreate. Before you start, make sure to download the color palette and that you have all the free brushes. Everything is linked in the description of this video. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to get more step-by-step tutorials like this, make sure to check out my Patreon. I add there a new video every week. Link is in the description. It's only thanks to your support on Patreon I am able to post here free videos on YouTube, so I really appreciate your help. So with all that being said, grab your drawing tools, relax and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. And first we are going to color the background. Let's take first color for this, color number 1, and just drag and drop it into here like this. Now let's add here a few more colors. Let's take next color, color number 2. We can pick a brush now. Let's go over here, go to the airbrushing and take soft brush. Let's make the brush size 12% and we can just draw here a few random spots, maybe like that. And now let's take another color, take color number 3 and draw it somewhere over here like that. Okay, now we are going to blend those colors together to give you a nice background. To do it, we can go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil on the screen to add the blur size and let's make it here about 34%. Let's stop here to finish this. And now we can add here some bokeh lights. We can do it on a new layer. So let's tap here on this plus to make a new layer. And now let's take another color. Let's take color number 4. With the same brush, we can make it smaller. Let's make it 8%. We can just draw now some kind of small circles over here like that. Let's make the brush size even smaller now, maybe 5%, and add a few more. Okay, and now let's take another color. Take color number 5. Let's draw some circles with this color. Okay, and we can blur this. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's make this maybe here about 20%. Let's tap here to finish and the background is ready. Let's start drawing the candle. So let's make a new layer for this. We can pick the color, take color number 6. Let's change the brush here for a moment. Let's go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. Let's make it 100%. And let's draw here the bottom, a tall shape, like a rectangle shape, but with a little bit wiggly edges. So like that. Something like this. Let's color this inside. Make sure that your top edge will be a little bit curved over here like this. If you want, you can still adjust it with the eraser. Let's tap on it. Let's go to the same brush, so calligraphy and monoline brush. The brush size 100%. And you can now erase this over here like that. To make sure that we can see here the back of the candle. You can also maybe carve here the edges a little bit if you want to. Okay, once you're happy with the shape, we can adjust the position of this. Let's take the arrow tool. At the bottom over here, we can pick uniform option and we can turn on snapping. So now we can move it like this and it will snap to the middle of the canvas. You will see here this line and this will snap to it. Okay. If you want to make your candle a little bit taller, you can use here the freeform option and now just extend this up here like this. or make it shorter. When you finish, just stop here. Right away we can add here that back part. We are going to do it on a new layer. So let's tap here on the plus. And we can put this layer here under this front piece. Let's take the brush and now just draw here this piece that you can see now in the back. So something like this. Color this inside. And like this is fine. Now let's start adding here some shadows and lights. We can start here with this back piece. We are going to make here a new layer on top of this one. And we want to draw now only on the shape that is underneath here. So to do it, we have to set this layer as clipping mask. So tap here and pick clipping mask. We are going to add here some light. So to make this look nice, we can change the blending mode of this layer to add. Tap here and pick add. Let's pick the color. Take color number 7. And let's change the brush. Let's go to airbrushing and take soft brush. Let's make the brush size about 5%. And right here in the middle, we can slowly start adding this light like this. And now let's add way more right here at the bottom part. Okay, to make this glow really nice. We can make the brush size smaller now, 2%, and very, very lightly just add it here to that back edge. Okay, just like that. And now let's make the brush size bigger again, 5%, and add here very, very lightly in between those lines, still a little bit more light. So this way the edges, the sides will be a little bit darker. Okay, so just like that. So this will be enough for this piece. We can move on and add some shadows to this front piece. So let's go to the layer with it, over here, and let's make a new layer on top. We are going to set this as clipping mask, so tap here and pick clipping mask. And we can start also with adding the lights. So let's set this layer as add. And let's add this right over here. So kind of like on the middle part of this top part. Like that. Take it down a little bit. We can now kind of create here a little bit of drips. So this shouldn't be so even. Okay, and now let's make the brush size smaller, 3%. And make this stronger right here in the middle. Okay, like that. Let's add here now another color. Take color number 6. We can make the brush size bigger again, about 6. And just add this here a little bit lower. Like that. Okay, for now this will be enough. Let's start adding here shadows. Let's make a new layer for this. Set it as clipping mask. And for the shadows, we are going to change the blending mode of this to multiply. We can keep the same color. So color number 6. Let's make the brush size bigger, 10%. And start darkening here this from the bottom and go up. Okay, so like that. Make here this bottom part way darker. Okay, like this will be enough. And now we're going to build here another layer of those shadows. So let's make a new layer on top, set it as clipping mask, change it to multiply. And now this way we can make the bottom even darker. Let's apply here some more of this color. So like that. And now let's make the brush size smaller. Let's try here 3%. And we can start drawing here the drips. So let's make here this part of this curved top a little bit darker, like this. And then let's say there will be like a drip over here. So very lightly we can draw this now like that. Let's add also one over here. Then one here. Let's make the brush size smaller, 2%. And draw something more precise over here at the bottom part. Now maybe there will be one somewhere like this. Okay, so like that. And now let's make a new layer to draw those drips. So tap here on the plus. Let's also set it as clipping mask and change this here to add. With the same color, we can now draw them. So follow the shape that you just drew here for those shadows. So like that. And now we can already see that there's something happening over here. Now we can make it look better by making the shadow right under those drips a little bit darker. So let's go back to the multiply layer over here, this one. Let's make the brush size smaller, 1%. And very lightly we can make this darker, right here where the light meets the shadow. Okay. Just draw it in few places, you don't have to make this darker everywhere. So now we should have something like this. And now we are going to make those drips even brighter. So let's make a new layer on top of those lights. Let's set it as clipping mask and change it to add. Let's change the color. Let's take color number 7. We can make the brush size a little bit bigger now, about 2%, and just brighten this up in few places, like this. So like that. And now let's make the brush size smaller, 1%. And we can draw here some kind of smaller glimmery lights on few parts over here. So just stamp here a few dots. You can also maybe add here like a very bright highlight somewhere on those drips, like that. But let's just stamp here some dots and kind of like irregular shapes. You can add some just in random places also, not only on those drips. Now we can take white color, color number 8, and add also a few of them in the same way, just so there's more colors in here. We can still brighten up the drips with this white color. And now we're going to blur this just a little bit. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's make here blur size 2%. And we can turn down the opacity of this. So let's tap here and let's turn it down. I will make it here 76%. And now if you want to make any of those stronger, you can still add here just a little bit pressure. Okay, I think like this is fine. Now if you want, you can go back to the shadow layers, maybe this one, and still add some more stronger shadows. Let's take color number 6. I'm going to make the brush size 4%, and maybe I'll add here a few darker spots to make this look more realistic. Let's zoom out and see how this looks. I think I want to make this drip a little bit softer. So I'm going to go to this layer over here, the top one. I'll take the eraser. Let's set the eraser to airbrushing and soft brush with the brush size 5% and brush opacity 80. I can very lightly just erase this now over here. Okay, maybe this is too strong for me. Okay, now we can move on and draw the knot. We are going to draw it under that main shape for the candle. So let's go over here and make a new layer on top. Make sure this is not a clipping mask, and we can start drawing the knot. Let's take first color for this, color number 9. Take the brush, the soft brush. Let's make the brush size 2%. And just draw here a long shape like this. Okay, let's add here some other colors. Take color number 10. We can make the brush size smaller now, 2%. And just add it here on the side and on top. So just like that. Let's take next color, color number 11. We are going to start making it darker here on top. So just like that. This is like a very just irregular shape. Okay. And now the darkest color, color number 12. We cannot see much now because the background is dark, but we'll see it in a second once we add the light. And we can also add here some shadow and light to this element. So let's make a new layer on top of this, set it as clipping mask, and change it to multiply. Let's darken up some of the parts in here. We can make this top even darker, and then the right side of it, like that. Now let's add here light. Let's make a new layer for this, set it as clipping mask, and change it to add. Let's change the color. Take color number 9 and just add this on the left side, just a little bit like that. And now let's take white color, color number 8, with a very small brush size, 1%. We can add here some little lights on top part over here. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so this will be enough. Let's add the light now. So for this we are going to make a new layer and we are going to put it under that knot. So over here. And now as you can see this set itself as clipping mask, we have to turn this off. So tap here and turn off the clipping mask. We can start with drawing the base shape for this light. Let's take the color for this. Take color number 13 and let's change the brush. Let's go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. Let's make the brush size maybe 11. And we can draw here a teardrop shape. Like this. Let's color this inside. And now we can adjust the size of this. Maybe mine is a little bit too big. So let's take the arrow tool and we can use here the freeform option just to make this in a proper size. I think size like this will look better. I'm going to move it down also a little bit. Maybe like that. Okay. When you're happy with your shape, you can tap here to finish this. Let's make this glow. Let's go to the adjustments and take bloom. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the bloom size. So it already starts to glow. And then at the bottom you can adjust the other settings. Okay, I'm happy with these settings. So my bloom size is 60, transition 83, size 35, and burn 64. Let's tap here to finish this. And now we can start adding here some more colors. Let's do it on a new layer. Let's set this layer as clipping mask. Let's change the color. Take color number 14. Let's change the brush now. Let's go back to airbrushing and soft brush. Let's make the brush size about 4%. And over here, a little bit higher than the bottom part of this light, let's add this color like that. Now let's take another color, take color number 13, and we can add it only here at the bottom part. Make this a bit more orange. Okay. And now we can blur this to make this look even better. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's make the blur size here 4%. Okay, tap here to finish this. Let's add here now some blue colors to the bottom part of this light. So let's make a new layer for this. Let's set it as clipping mask. And let's change the color. Let's start with color number 15. Let's add it over here like this. So kind of just to this bottom part of this light. Okay. And now let's take the other color, the darker blue. It's more like purple actually, color number 16. And add it just to the bottom part, like this. Okay. Now we are going to make this more intense. Let's make a new layer for this. Set it as clipping mask. And we can change the blending mode of this to vivid light. Let's make the brush size a little bit smaller, 3%. And add this here right at the bottom part, like that. Make this darker. And then when you take this a little bit here on this yellow color, it becomes red. So let's do that. To make this a little bit more even, we can blur this. Let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's make it 5%. Tap here to finish this. And now we can add here another layer of this vivid light. So let's make a new layer, set it as clipping mask, change it to vivid light. And over here we can go up here to make this even stronger in this way. We can add also a tiny bit over here on this yellow part, but not too much. Okay, so like this. And also let's blur this so this will be more even. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's make it 4%. Tap here to finish this. And now I would like to make this yellow part fade away a little bit nicer. So to do it, I'm going to go to this layer over here. I'll take the eraser, make the brush size 7%, and lightly erase this here from the top so it will blend nicer. I think it will look better like that. And I will still go here to this layer and add a little bit more of that purple light color, number 15. I'll just add this more around the top part of the knot, like this. I think like this would be more realistic. Just a little bit. And now I will also maybe erase this part a little bit. Maybe this is too strong for me. So now in the end you can just go around your layers and see how you can make it look better. Okay, I will do the same over here. And I think that's it. So now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you can share drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you'd like to draw more of me, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I add their new video every week. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!